them. The club also on the same evening staged an art exhibition at Oceanfront residence in Kololi to promote Gambian artists and also raise funds geared towards helping the needy. Mamadou Diallo, GRTS.
Well, time now to take our first break. When we come back, we'll take a look at the international news. Don't tune out.
The NOEC Staff Association, under the Chief Guest of Honor, His Excellency the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yaya AJJ Jammeh, is staging its third annual gala dinner and dance in association with the international superstar Asanjai of Senegal, Jaliba Kuyate and Abu Anfafa. This program is in support of His Excellency's drive to turn the Gambia into a city-state by providing all basic and essential services such as electricity and water to the Gambian population irrespective of where they live. The gala dinner is slated for the 25th of January 2013 at the Senegambia Beach Hotel. Tables are as follows: Platinum $60,000, Diamond $50,000, Gold $40,000, and Silver $35,000. Each table comes with 10 gala dinner tickets and cash power raffle tickets. Individual tickets $1,500. January 25th, that is the dance at the Paradise Suites Hotel, Penchami Hall. The tickets are as follows: VIP $600, Ordinary $400. Chief Guest of Honor for the night: Modu Turo Dabo, Aja Chan Khan, and Fatu Toure. And at Brikama Joko, which is January 27th, the tickets are $200 flat. Chief Guest of Honor: Lamin Sane, Governor of West Coast Region, Aja Fatu Sow, Farato Alcalo, and Amidou Ja Oil. For reservations, please call 366-4096, 997-3500, 384-6607, 980-2992.
Please join us on a journey inside Trust Bank every Tuesday from 7 to 7:30 p.m.
where we hope to give you a unique insight into what we do,
why we do it, and how it benefits you.
Welcome back to GRTS News. Tens of thousands of people watched Barack Obama's second inauguration as President of the United States following his re-election in November last year. In his speech, President Barack Obama spoke extensively about the importance of upholding the values on which the Republican America was built on. Here's an excerpt from Barack Obama's inauguration speech as he begins a new 4-year term of office.
Our brave men and women in uniform, tempered by the flames of battle, are unmatched in skill and courage. Our citizens, seared by the memory of those we have lost, know too well the price that is paid for liberty. The knowledge of their sacrifice will keep us forever vigilant against those who would do us harm. But we are also heirs to those who won the peace and not just the war, who turned sworn enemies into the surest of friends, and we must carry those lessons into this time as well. We will defend our people and uphold our values through strength of arms and rule of law. We will show the courage to try and resolve our differences with other nations peacefully, not because we are naive about the dangers we face, but because engagement can more durably lift suspicion and fear. America will remain the anchor of strong alliances in every corner of the globe. And we will renew those institutions that extend our capacity to manage crisis abroad. For no one has a greater stake in a peaceful world than its most powerful nation. We will support democracy from Asia to Africa, from the Americas to the Middle East, because our interests and our conscience compel us to act on behalf of those who long for freedom. And we must be a source of hope to the poor, the sick, the marginalized, the victims of prejudice, not out of mere charity, but because peace in our time requires the constant advance of those principles that our common creed describes. tolerance and opportunity, human dignity, and justice. We, the people, declare today that the most evident of truths, that all of us are created equal, is the star that guides us still, just as it guided our forebears through Seneca Falls and Selma and Stonewall, just as it guided all those men and women, sung and unsung, who left footprints along this great mall, to hear a preacher say that we cannot walk alone, to hear a king proclaim that our individual freedom is inextricably bound to the freedom of every soul on earth. It is now our generation's task to carry on what those pioneers began. For our journey is not complete until our wives, our mothers, and daughters can earn a living equal to their efforts.
I love the last part. President Barack Obama there delivering a speech at his second inauguration ceremony. Ordinary people caught up in Syria's civil war are paying an extraordinary price. Homes, families, and lives have been torn apart on a seemingly daily basis. CNN takes us to one traumatized town under rebel control.
An old man sits in the rubble of what used to be his house. This was my house, he says, and now I sleep here in the street. Traumatized residents wander through this border town's bombed-out market. A week after the attack, some are clearly still in shock. We're crying because of the planes, says this weeping man. I was at home when the fire exploded and then came the smoke. The motorcycles were on fire. This amateur video shows the immediate horrific aftermath of the airstrikes on January 13th. The organization Doctors Without Borders says the bombs killed at least 20 people here and wounded dozens more. It's not the first time the town of Azaz has been hit since rebels drove government forces out last summer.
The Syrian military appears to be punishing Azaz for its experiment in self-rule. This was the town's main hospital. It was hit, locals say, by warplanes on December 31st, one of several civilian targets to be pounded by airstrikes in just the last couple of weeks.
The bombs damaged the only department in the hospital that was still functioning, the dialysis center, where blankets are still stained with the blood a police officer said came from a female patient wounded by the blast. Haji Ahmed Derbala is a member of a new city council that's been given the unenviable task of trying to run Azaz after the government was evicted. We rebuild, and then right afterwards the planes come and bomb us, he says. We haven't even had enough time to dig proper graves for the dead. Most of the town's population has fled to places like the nearby Bab al-Salama refugee camp, where residents recently got wood stoves to heat their freezing tents. This positive development brought some unintended consequences. The tents are not fire-resistant. In fact, they're highly flammable. By mid-morning, 3-year-old Omar is the second child of the day to be treated for serious burns at the camp's first aid clinic. In this corner of rebel-controlled Syria, it feels like people are hanging on by their fingernails. Ivan Watson, CNN, Azaz, Syria.
Now, the gun debate, it is front and center in President Barack Obama's agenda as he enters a second term. And the shooting death of 5 people in New Mexico over the weekend will only strengthen his resolve to clamp down on firearms. 3 children were among those killed. Saturday's tragedy in the U.S. joins a long list of mass shootings in recent months. But in other countries, such events are much rarer, and watching from the other side of the world is Australia.